Hi, everyone. Welcome to Basic Binges, part of Nom Talk Network. On this show, we review popular shows while eating and drinking our favorite binge-worthy snacks and drinks. If you're watching live, don't forget to redeem those channel points. Be kind, but redeem what you must. I'm your host, Erric Ramirez, and tonight I am drinking lovely, lovely water because it is very hot. So stay hydrated out there. It's very important. And then I had a massive breakfast burrito, so I'm not snacking on anything, but I did bring candy. So who doesn't love a good fun dip? But let me introduce you to our wonderful, wonderful guests this evening, Bryan, Kyle, and JP. Thank you all for being here. We'll start with you on this one, Kyle. What are you snacking and drinking on tonight?
Hi guys. So I've got my usual Coke. I don't know if you do sponsors Coca-Cola, but there you go. I got my usual Coke. And I wanted to do something fitting the fancy binge-worthy episodes of Doctor Who. So I was like, "Oh, I'll make a crudité board." And then I was like, "No, I don't have access to fancy cheeses, but I do have some pepperoni. So I'm going to snack on pepperoni because in a bag because that's the poor man's crudité.
The poor man's charcuterie out of a bag.
Charcuterie. That's it. That's the word I was looking for.
I got some baby bells in the fridge. Like that is the whole deal. I'll grab.
Match made in heaven. Well, thank you so much for being here, Kyle. Bryan, thank you for coming back. What are you snacking and drinking on tonight?
Tonight I will be drinking on a little lavender lemonade made with a little cooking lavender from I think it's 123. I don't know. Liza just went on a lavender tour of a lavender farm and brought back a bunch of cooking oil and lavender. Like so, I put some in my lemonade and it's been awesome. And I'll be enjoying a Japanese party snack mix that I've it's not really that Japanese at all. It's just covered in nori, but it's a lot of American cereals and bugles. But it's pretty delicious.
Good, good. Now I expect later on in the show bugles just to be all on your fingers so you can have nails and just like tuck it away.
They didn't make they've reduced in size. I can't fit them.
We just grew in size. We're not little kids anymore, which is unfortunate. They need to make an adult sized bugle. Um, but thank you for being here. And JP, what are you snacking and drinking on tonight?
Alrighty, so as per usual, I have my Bud Light. I'm the only one with alcohol tonight. That's okay, I guess. And then I am snacking on. I'm gonna keep the theme going from last week because last week's episode was super spicy. We're gonna go with some spicy Cheez-Its for tonight because this episode, I'm telling you right now, oh boy.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. And also, I did forget to mention I do have my typical Voodoo Ranger. It's sitting to the side, but hydration for sure. But speaking of that, Nom Talk Network did redeem Hydrate. So cheers, everybody.
You guys are all drinking relatively healthy stuff, and I'm drinking my sugary soda.
Yeah, because beer is so healthy.
It's so healthy for us.
Beers, a
Naturally.
Coke, and a lemonade.
But today, everybody, I have to get this correct with how it was stated earlier. Dearest gentle readers, it's a Bridgerton-esque episode of Doctor Who. We are talking about ugh, episode 6 of Doctor Who called Rogue on Disney Plus. Before we start, don't forget that we are still fundraising for the Trevor Project. It's a great cause. Please be sure to check that one out. But let's get into it, y'all. So we start off this episode with seeing two gentlemen walking down a path in 1813. They're kind of having a fight. One of them's taking advantage of one's sister, and he's like, "You shall marry her." And he's like, "No, I don't have to. Like, I can do whatever I want." And then the script kind of switches to where the guy's just like, "Oh, you're so evil. I want to be you." Grabs him, and something happens, and he transforms to him. Um, Then we go into the ballroom because there's a big duchess. There's a duchess having a ball, and we see the Ruby and the Doctor dancing. Shortly after, Ruby asks the Doctor how she knows all of these 1813 dances, and he says she has psychic earrings, so the dances are just getting projected into her brain, like strictly dancing automatically. But he does warn her to not turn on battle mode of the earrings, which is foreshadowing for the future. Um, Shortly after, the Doctor meets Ruby gets taken away by the Duchess, and the Doctor meets a handsome mystery man played by Jonathan Groff, called Rogue. Don't know nothing about him really. They're on a balcony, as you can see behind me, because this is a lovely, lovely scene. And the flirting instantly starts. The Doctor is like, "Ooh, you're brooding," all of this, and he's kind of eyeing the Doctor as well. And then he reveals that he's a bounty hunter, and he is convinced that the Doctor is a being called a Cholder, um, and he has been paid to kill the Cholders. Um, the Rogue takes the Doctor back to his ship, which is the Rogue's bachelor pad, as Nom Talk put it, which is great because that's so what it is. It's messy, it's disorganized, but yet somehow has an organization to it. Um, and Rogue captures the Doctor in this like rudimentary like device to send him to an incinerator, and the Doctor is pleading and with him that he can't get killed, and then he tries to shut off the device, but it's deadlocked. But he then says, "Hey, my device can do a lot of other things," and ends up turning on music, which is Kylie Minogue, which is so cute because the Doctor starts flirting more and more with him and turning it back on. He turned it off, turned it back on. And then Rogue says at the end of this countdown, he pushes a button and he's dead. But he did an internal scan and saw who the Doctor really was. In the last couple of seconds of the scan, the Doctor throws his magic um, paper and hits it, and we see all of his previous lives of Doctors. And so it stops him, and they realize that he is not the Cholder, that he has to go and find them. So they join up forces and go in. In the meantime, Ruby is living her best Bridgerton. Can't help it. You can't say best and Bridgerton close together like that. Best Bridgerton cosplay. And so she's going, seeing love triangles and everything like that. And come to find out that the Cholders are pretty much playing cosplayers. They are LARPing and getting all of the TV shows that they see in space. They are coming down to Earth and recreating those exact situations because they are lovely, lovely. So the Doctor explains what the Cholders are doing, the cosplay, and they are just living for that Bridgerton drama. So the Doctor creates a huge scandal where he dances with Jonathan Groff in the middle of the dance floor, just him. And then they have this beautiful moment where all the lights go out and it's just light on them and everything. And then he tells Jonathan Groff's character Rogue that they have to do something, cause a stir. So the Doctor starts acting and cosplaying pretty much, and it's like, "You cad, how am I supposed to leave my money and my title? What will you do for me?" And Jonathan Groff simply just gets on one knee and proposes to the Doctor. After the quarrel happens, they run off and the Cholders run off after them. So I'll stop there. What did you think of the start of this episode up until they like run away and the action with the Cholders start to happen? Like, what do you think of these two having obvious love? Everything they got. We'll start with you on this one, JP. What did you think at the start of this episode?
This is the episode I have needed since meeting Captain Jack Harkness, who is my favorite companion. This was the gayness of everything that John Barrowman should have been in any of these episodes that we have previously seen him in. That dancing scene with them in the ballroom, absolutely, like I was crying. There was tears. It was so beautiful. Yeah, I loved it. Also, like shout out to the first, finally, after 50 years, 50, 60 years, we finally got our first gay kiss. Ah! And I know last week we were discussing that people were leaving the Whovian universe because of a black doctor. Well, guess what? Now you can leave. You have more excuse to leave the universe because we have our first gay kiss. And you can kiss my ass on the way out because I love exactly where this season is going. They are hitting hard, and I am very, very excited for this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, this is everything I wanted from Jack Harkness. I got here.
Yeah.
Everything I wished for Jodie, I got here. The only thing I really didn't like is how thirsty the doctor seemed, because it was very thirst. It was like, oh, you're attractive. Let me go for you. I'm just like, okay, calm it down.
And when he was dancing to the Kylie Minogue song, he literally was like dry humping the air. Let's be real.
Right. But who can't do that with Kylie Minogue? Come on.
Right, exactly.
Kyle, what did you think about this first start of the beginning part of this episode?
So, dipping really personal for like a second. A year ago, starting June 1st, I officially changed my name and came out as Kyle, and my transmasculine self. Really, I was never the biggest fan of Jack Harkness. I thought he was like, I just thought he was too much. I know, and we can talk about this later, but
he is too much, and that he is Jack Harkness is too much. So I do agree with you there.
But this, as a transmasculine individual who is still kind of new to that part of my queer identity, having Jonathan Groff in this, I was like, oh my god, I could cosplay this man. I would cosplay this man. I would dress him up and take him to Pride and go to D&D games. And I loved I am not the biggest Bridgerton fan. I don't like really, I know. I don't like really feminine. It's a weird thing I have, but like I have a hard time getting into it. So this made me want to get into it, truthfully. This made me want to get into it. I liked Ruby. I did think the doctor was too thirsty. Ruby kind of taking a back seat was kind of nice. It feels like both Nishuti and Ruby, whose actress name I'm forgetting. Sorry. But both of them are kind of getting. Say what?
Millie Gibson.
Millie Gibson. So both Nishuti and Millie Gibson are getting like their own moments to shine, which makes me really interested in the next episode. But it was just nice to bond with my mom over something, and kind of nice to have a character that he's like, fine, later he's just talking to the doctor, and I'm just like, I want to know where you're going, sir. I want to know where you're going. So I felt really like it made me happy. It made my heart giggle. I was like, yes.
No, and I agree with you. And thank you so much for saying all that and letting your heart out there. It is brilliant. And also, congratulations. Yay. Happy for you.
Yay.
But I do agree with you. This episode, and like every other episode that we've been talking about, except for the last one, I kept saying Shuti is not giving me doctor. He's not giving me. And then the end of last episode with the dot in the bubble, I was like, I see it. This whole entire episode for me was a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah.
From start to finish, it was a Who episode. They added the new stuff with like the love interest and everything like that, but it was Who through and through, and now I can see where he is going. Bryan, what did you think of the start? Oh, no, go ahead, JP.
Before you move on to, like last episode, we did discuss that they're reintroducing us to the Doctor, and they're reintroducing like what the doctors and the companions can actually do, especially like with the TARDIS and like the earrings and everything. So big, like I love that they did a shout out, like re-explaining like, oh yeah, when they do go into like another different area of time or it's like another planet, they automatically speak the language. They already know the dancing. They already have the costumes. They already have everything. So I really did appreciate that, like they're basically educating a new generation.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Before we get to you, Brian, because of my thirst statement, because he was so thirsty, and I think he is so thirsty, they redeemed Hydrate again. So cheers, everybody, for Doctor Who's thirst.
Yes.
But Brian, what did you think of the beginning of this episode?
Man, it's gotten more and more Doctor Who-y as it has gone. I did watch the Dot in the Bubble episode, like, and I thought, like, all right, this is some more like dark future, people walking into the mouths of aliens because of but this was very like, I don't know. It is the it's the Victorian gay drama of my dreams. Like it was very good. Like I loved it. Like it was really good. Like it was first of all, like I love them trying to do a Harkness again. Like I know Harkness is a little much, but what can I say? However this paints me, I'm charmed by a Kirk. I like a Captain Kirk doing his like if this Doctor gets a little more like a gay Kirk on us, then what in the harm is that? Like I think that it's I don't know. I appreciated them sort of like reincorporating this whole like because we never got the Doctor really flirting with Jack Harkness, even though it would have been nice once in a while. You'd figure the Doctor would every now and again, but he never did, and it's just nice to see that. Is it love? I don't know. Is it cool to watch? Yeah, like yeah, I'm into it.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Like in the last the giggle, it was the first mention of that when they were doing something and they had mentioned somebody who was attractive. He was like, "Oh, they are attractive." And he was like, "Oh, I'm into that now." Okay, and moved on. And I love that they're bringing into it. I was very worried based off of how the microaggressions of the last episode, the Dot in the Bubble, were against him being a doctor of color. I was worried they were going to stem that way, but it wasn't really touched until the dance floor when everybody was like a scandal.
Actually, it was touched. The bird people, they mentioned like, oh, we're going to invade the world if they're not looking European. Right?
Oh yeah, the race stuff was talked there. I was talking about
it was
homosexual.
Okay, fine. Like
it was the homosexuality.
Touched on.
The pearls weren't gasped for the homosexuality until they started dancing. But as you were mentioning, Brian, the Bridgerton, everything. This is where I want Benedict Bridgerton to go. The Rogue is where I want Benedict Bridgerton to be and live his life. They're probably not going to give it to us, but that's where I want him to go. Okay, so second part of the episode. So after they have their wonderful dance and storm out, the Rogue had thought that there had only been one shoulder on this planet, which can devastate a planet because it could just keep jumping to people. So he has a device set for one. When they get out there, they realize it's a whole family of shoulders. And so they have to run and hide in a carriage. Don't please reenact the last Bridgerton episode of season 3. We all know what's happening. If you haven't watched it, it gets very spicy. I would have loved that anyway, but we don't interact with that. But so the shoulders are racing around trying to find the Doctor and the Rogue because they want to cosplay as them because it's just what they just gave. In the meantime, Ruby seemed to have befriended a Cholder named Emily, and Ruby tells her that she's already seen enough with the bird people outside and and stuff like that, and how just open Ruby is, that she decides to tell her what they are. And lo and behold, she's a Cholder too, so she in turn wants to be Ruby. And all we hear is a zap and Ruby screaming, and we think she's dead. So the doctor has this very traumatic, like, pause of just like, I just lost another companion. And we jump to a wonderful scene where Carla's sitting down and she's like, if anybody deserves this, it is Ruby, to go into the universe and experience stuff, but please keep her safe. And he promises her this. And then he obviously failed in his attempt. So therefore, it kind of goes back into Rage Doctor a little bit. And he's like, well, we have to capture them all now. So he makes the device capable of holding 6 shoulders. In the meantime, and the device is called the Triform. In the meantime, the main shoulder says, how do you end a great series and a great event and a great TV show? With the wedding. So that's what they're planning to do. So the Duke guy ends up going to marry Ruby, and they're walking up and everybody's saying they're about to say I do's and everything like that. And the doctor stops the wedding, not at the right perfect time, but it was very hard to hear through that door apparently. And he sets the devices and catches all the shoulders that they know of at that moment. And he's like, this is payback, or this is payback pretty much for Ruby being killed by the shoulders. And Ruby's like, no, I'm not dead. I'm here. It's actually me. And she brings up her grandmother and her mom, and he's like, well, pretty much how this happened. When the shoulder grabbed her, she tapped her earring twice and said battle mode, and had a Mortal Kombat Bridgerton in the library type thing. It's very cool. But now she's stuck in this Triform. The Robe comes back in and says, can you lose your friend to save the world? To which the doctor says no, because the doctor has lost many friends over the time. But if he releases Ruby, the world's going to get attacked by shoulders. So the Rogue walks up to the doctor, and we see the kiss. He kisses the doctor with such love and such intent. I think it was out of a genuine place, but also a trick, because he grabs the control, grabs the shoulder who was attacking Ruby, throws her onto the Triform, and then knocks Ruby out of the way and tells the doctor to come and find them, and then hits the button and they go disappear. The doctor puts the Rogue ship into orbit for when he ever does return. And this is the first moment of this. Ruby, because the doctor was just like, okay, let's go have another adventure like he normally does. And Ruby forces him to take a hug because he obviously went through something. The ring that the Rogue proposed to the doctor with, he ends up putting on his pinky finger, and then they go off on their next adventure. Kyle, what did you think of the ending of this episode?
Listen, it's funny because I've been doing a Game of Thrones up until season 6, because 7 and 8 didn't happen, rewatch, and I forgot how much of the ending of that had weddings, and then Gilded Age has weddings, and everything else does have a wedding. And I like that they had the vicar of this in true, like, Doctor, what I imagine how people in Doctor Who, like, if you go like to Haddonfield with, like, Michael Myers or anything, there's just some people just like, yeah, this happens. There's always some big murder or whatever. I just imagine the people in the Doctor Who universe are just like, yeah, there's an alien, sorry, we can't help you get married, but so the vicar's like, I can't help you guys get married. And then he ended up getting possessed, and then the bird ended up being the vicar. I thought the allusions to cosplay were funny. I come from a cosplay family, so I thought that was kind of funny. The kiss destroyed me. The whole find me, I was just like, we better see him again. He doesn't have to. He could be crazy. He could be crazed. He could be, like, mutate or anything like that. I'm like, but I need to see him again. So I was just, I was full of emotions. It was great.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. I was full of emotions with that, which kind of threw me off guard. That kiss threw me off guard. I wanted it, but I didn't expect it at that moment. So it was very sweet for me. But jumping in the chat really quickly before we get to you on the last, what you thought of the second half of this episode, Bryan. Q Ball, hi Q, redeemed hydrate because this is a thirsty episode. But yeah, Bryan, what did you think of the second part of this episode with all the action and everything like that? There was a lot of action.
I don't know. It was okay. I don't know. Like, I just feel like we really rushed the gun a little bit on their relationship. A little bit. Like, it's just like we just met this character. We're not gonna have any build up, any like I'm worried. I'm worried this is his only episode, except for the other episode he shows up in, and there's no reason for him to show. I don't know. It just felt a little fast for someone they think they're going to incorporate frequently. Like I don't know. It just felt it was okay. It was all right. Like I don't know. It's just like when the kiss happened, I'm like, oh, we're just getting to that, huh? Nothing to wait for. Nothing to really build this outside of this one couple of hours that they've known each other. All right, that's fine. I guess, we can't hire the same actor every week. Shows cost money. Like, like you'll pay to get him in another one, and I'm sure it'll be cool when he comes back. Because I think he's just gonna be back randomly one day. They put his ship in space, so it's like we don't have to see the resolution of that. You're gonna be in trouble. He's gonna show up. It's gonna be really cool. Like that's cool. Like that's fine. Doctor Who.
I mean, it's not like we may never see him again. I mean,
Maybe that would suck.
Jack Harkness came back for Jodie, and then we never saw him again.
He was the face of Bo, baby. They gave him an end game. A big face in a jar.
Kyle, it looked like you wanted to say something.
Well, when Bryan said that he just didn't have any purpose, I have a thought here. And my thought is, in the world we have the term femme fatale, which is someone who comes in and has a mysterious purpose and will immediately fall in love with somebody. I propose, in honor of Pride Month and just in general, we introduce the term homme fatale. A dude who comes in and just is hot and kisses the doctor. He's the homme fatale.
That's really good.
He's
I'm stealing that from my own writing.
Take it. But he's a homme fatale.
Think of others right now. Like I'm like, wait, who else?
He comes in and he's just like, he's too perfect. He's too good. And then, eventually we'll find out he's working for some sort of big bad creature. And he'll be like, wait, maybe I really do have these feelings for the doctor. Or like he'll have bought his way out of the dimension or whatever that he ended up trapped in by doing this, and he'll be the homme fatale and like be coming in and like Gamora and Guardians of the Galaxy, like the second in command, and then falls in love with the doctor's goofiness or something again. Is like, now this is a real moment. But he's not a femme fatale, he's a homme fatale.
I appreciate that optimism. So like that would be the best thing to happen out of this. Like I'm worried, like I don't know, I want that so bad. like you just described what, man, yeah, that's what should happen. I don't know. I hope, I don't know where the season's going with the old woman face and all the screens. Is it gonna, am I gonna give a shit? I don't know. I'm worried. We're getting real deep in it here.
Before we get to your end of what you thought and what you're gonna say, Dave, if we're looking at it, with River Song, he's a mixture of River Song and Jack, and that's kind of what they're doing. But JP, what are your final thoughts and what you wanted to say?
So before the thoughts, Kyle mentioned that there might be a big baddie that Ro could be working for. we have not seen, I just got this idea. Thank you, Kyle. We have not seen Bad Wolf in a long time. And I don't know. I'm speculation, hope, my
Spoilers.
heart, spoilers. I don't know. But if he's working for Big Bad with like the Rose Tyler, I would die. I would die. I will die in my bed. But to go into it, first of all, I noticed it last episode. The screwdriver, I hate. I hate this new screwdriver. Absolutely hate it. It looks like a remote control. I hate it. I did like it this episode though, because it was its own little gay detector. It literally was like a beep, 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 homosexual. We got Jonathan Groff. Let's be real. That totally happened. It was like a homo. So I appreciated that. But when it came down to like the ending of all of this, first of all, I really did think that Sunday was dead. And I got very upset because I actually do like this companion. I haven't liked companion this much since probably Donna. I think she's doing a really great job, and so I'm happy that she wasn't dead. They did get me there. They did get me there. I also like as I saw Jonathan Groff's character Rogue walk into the triangle. What was it called, Eric?
Triform.
The Triform. I was like, here we go, killing off another gay character, killing off another gay romance in another series because you gave us a taste of it, but you can't continue with this story because obvious reasons. But then like when you push the button, he said like come find us. I was like, oh okay, thank God. Like he's not actually dead because we thought they were gonna be dead because like wasn't like when the doctor was stuck in it, he pushes the button and they're gonna get incinerated, right?
Yeah, they're going to the incinerator, but then the doctor changed it because he can't let the rogue kill anybody. So now they
Okay.
go to a different dimension.
Okay, good. Because I was like, let's not kill off another gay character. Come on, another gay romance. That always happens. Like, and in Bridgerton too, there is like a bisexual brother. So I did kind of like the nod of like the on the dance floor, like there's a gay couple dancing, like it's it's cheeky, but we like it. Like all the women were like commenting about it. So I did like that kind of nod to Bridgerton to like the bisexual artistic brother in the actual series. Um, and that's all I got to say about that. I'm very excited about this Rogue character. I hope they bring him back. It is Jonathan Groff. I do love Jonathan Groff. And let's see what happens.
We don't know what's going to happen because we did not mention that, but the rogue did mention that he got a new boss and there's a lot of paperwork and everything like that. Now we could bring it in. So throughout all of these episodes, they've been individualized. Ruby had a solo episode. We had the Dot in the Bubble where she had a solo episode, kind of. But there is a woman who's been a part of all of them. Susan Twist has been in every one of these Doctor Who episodes. In this episode, she was the mother in the painting that Ruby points out because she's like, she looks familiar. So this next episode, we end up finding who she is. Do you guys have any thoughts of what she could be? Could she be one of the people, the big bad's coming? Could she be potentially a TARDIS? What are your thoughts? We'll start with you on this one, Bryan.
I'm worried it's gonna be look, you know who we haven't really seen yet in this new season is any of the Doctor's main baddies, Daleks, Cybermen, etc., etc. I don't know. If I had to I don't know if Doctor Who bad guys were a big roulette wheel, I'd put my money down on an AI Cyberman type of affair. Like maybe she is I don't know. She's reoccurring in a lot of history right now, and that's either Dalek shit or Cybermen shit. So that's my bet on her. More Cybermen than Dalek. Then again, they did the Capaldi thing. I don't know. That's my whole wager with her. I don't know. That's just sort of that's betting red or black. That's betting on or even. I honestly don't know what unless she's, well, we've already seen what Ruby looks like old, so we know it's not going to be a alternate old Ruby. Um, so that's my gamble on mysterious old reoccurring woman. Um, and rogue stuff, I don't know, man. I hope Disney may not be they're smart enough to not bury their gays, but they sure do know how to put their gays in a place where they're out of the screen until they're ready to use them. Like uh, like like I
Put them in a
hope
little penthouse in the sky and pull them down when they're needed.
There should be lots of Rogue episodes. That would be cool to see a cluster of Rogue episodes like every, second to third episode would be cool to see him show up and they do stuff and they develop that relationship. That would be cool. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe if people like him enough, he can get a spinoff like Torchwood.
Torchwood was its own thing. If you want sexy Doctor Who, you go to Torchwood.
Speaking of Torchwood, the Duchess, Indira Varma, was on the original season of Torchwood, and she's come back. She played Susan. She was one of the ones who went bad originally with the glove in Torchwood, and that was in 2010, I think. So yeah. Like 14 years ago, she's back in the universe again. JP, what are your thoughts on this? I know you haven't watched the first couple of episodes. So Susan Twist has now played a nurse, a hiker, a random person who ran away. She just keeps popping up. It's not a character of significance or anything. Her face just keeps reoccurring everywhere they go. What are your thoughts on this? Could there be a big bad? What do you think that this could mean?
Like I said, I really want to see Bad Wolf come back. But that probably is like free wishing. However, we did see Donna in a special. And we've seen a few others. I want it to be like a companion that died that is now coming back because this character keeps dying and dying and dying. I want to see maybe that it's like a companion that had died with the Doctor and a previous Doctor, and this is their fate now, and they're trying to find the Doctor to be oh hey, guess what? You did this to me. I'm in a cycle, or have the Doctor save them and give them peace of mind. I would love to see that.
I will tell you, they don't die. They don't die. They just walk into a scene and leave. And that's it.
This character?
What?
It might be good. I mean, hopefully they're not going to do another Master story. I'm over the Masters at this point. We don't need to see another Master. Let's go back. If you want to actually give the Whovians a reason to scream for life, give us one of these past companions that we have not seen in 10 years. Bring them back, just like they did in the Christmas episode with Rose Tyler being Bad Wolf. I'm going to keep repeating that because that episode.
Bad Wolf.
What's that? Bad Wolf.
You want Bad Wolf.
I want Bad Wolf so bad. I also want Rose Tyler. I want Rose Tyler. I want more Donna. I want something like that. If this is River Song too, that would be completely, totally insane. But I would not be mad about River Song. Let's be real.
There are theories about that. But Kyle, what do you think of this mysterious lady popping into all of these episodes?
I have two theories. First theory is I think it does have something to do with the Doctor's past, because we haven't tapped into a lot of the companions, but then you said TARDIS. And I was like, what if she is a TARDIS because we've established that TARDISes have personality. So what if she's a TARDIS that's trying to find the Doctor, and we open it up, and there's another Doctor inside. Maybe we do something like that. I don't know. But I like the idea of TARDISes, of establishing that more as like TARDISes as living beings, especially because I believe that's a concept that Neil Gaiman came up with, and I love how Neil talks about anthropomorphic things. Like I love Sandman, and I love all of Neil's like, what a character are you going to write about today? I'm going to write about the writing as a concept, as a person. This is writing, and it's a short-haired person. So that's my theory. My initial theory is I did not even think about. So that's my initial theory. My gag theory, because I believe in the Christmas special, she was the neighbor, and she just looks at the camera and says, she wasn't the neighbor?
She was not the neighbor.
No? Okay.
Oh, I was gonna say, in an epic moment of Disney synergy, in the last episode, she puts on a Deadpool mask and jets off into the multiverse as old lady Deadpool. And we have like this massive just Deadpools keep appearing in various Disney shows, and she's the Deadpool of the Disney universe for Doctor Who.
Damn, that's good.
If Deadpool appears in Doctor Who, I'm gonna be dead. I'm done.
What, a Deadpool TARDIS? Come on, just black and red?
Yeah, I do. So you guys had mentioned like the TARDIS, like this might be the TARDIS. Like I kind of like I was like, okay, cool. If this is the TARDIS, I will die. I will die.
Well,
I'm
I
taking
mean,
the
'cause
broad
we've
boring
seen-
bit.
We've
I think
seen the
private-
TARDIS be in a human form before.
We
In the
have,
Doctor's Wife episode where she got pulled out. So we have seen it happen. And previews for this next episode, she states that she's getting pulled through time. So it is possible. Kyle, go ahead.
What if it's the Master's TARDIS?
Oh shit!
Oh, Kyle.
That would be so good.
What if it's because we've met the Doctor's TARDIS, and it's the lady in the funky purple dress who looks like she walked out of Hot Topic circa 2001. Like
It's Reba the Genetic Opera TARDIS.
That old lady being the master would be the only way I would accept another master time.
No, but
That
she's
would blow my mind.
She's like, because if the TARDIS is like a beautiful young lady in like the 2000 like goth Hot Topic gal with the hair, and in this one like she's just the bitter old TARDIS, and she's going around and she's looking for the master, and that's why she's following him through time. So she's like, where's Missy? Where's XYZ? And she just keeps following him, or she's lost. And while we don't want another master storyline, I could see them being like, oh, we found this TARDIS. Surprise, it's red. And instead of Deadpool, you open the door and it's the master. Hey! But no, I like the idea of it being like a rogue TARDIS, an evil one that's following.
The master's TARDIS is doing a Capaldi.
Wait, no, JP's like Rogue, and I'm like, oh shit. Wait, what if Rogue's a TARDIS?
I mean, this is like probably free wishing, but Kyle, you just gave me an idea as well. What if like maybe it's Captain Jack Harkness's TARDIS?
Oh, Jesus.
That would be cool too, because like we have this new rogue character. That would be kind of crazy. Living for it.
I love it. Love all the ideas. Something you mentioned in this conversation, Kyle, was Deadpool coming into Doctor Who. Q Ball asked us a question.
Oh, cool.
Q Ball wants to know if there's a crossover between Doctor Who and Marvel or DC, which characters would you love to see fighting alongside the Doctor? We'll start with you on this one, Kyle.
Deadpool. Instantly. Fourth wall breaking. Just Deadpool walks in, looks at him and goes, good God, have you been doing this long? And they haven't let you do X, Y, and Z? And the Doctor has to sit there and the puns that would be made, and then Deadpool's just like, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this R-rated. And the Doctor just looks at him and is like, this is a children's show. And he goes, oh man, and his weapons turn into like unicorns or something, and he just has unicorns. I was explaining to my mom yesterday, and I was like, he has unicorns. My mom goes, what does he do with the unicorns? And I'm like, don't ask that question.
I can imagine Deadpool throwing like little plushy sonic screwdrivers at people as he's like running by them. That would be great.
I think Deadpool
Um,
like a
Sonic
TV show
screwdriver.
once, and he could only say, "We're gonna M-word these people." Like, like it was really.
so Brian, same question for you. Who would you like, DC or Marvel, to be a companion to the Doctor?
Oh, Doctor Strange, hands down. Doctor Strange jumping through dimensions and time and shit all the time by going like this. He's got to have a whole device to do it. Doctor Strange is going to look at Doctor Who and be like, yeah, that's cute. I'm already 10 seconds behind your timeline. I just gave you a wedgie. Like I don't know. I just feel like Doctor Strange and Doctor Who would be like, first of all, that would be a doctor with Benedict Cumberbatch, which just feels like it should happen somehow. But also, like, I just feel like they would it would be a pissing contest that would just be dope to watch. Like it would just be them trying to top each other with like extraterrestrial, multi-dimensional, various timeline shenanigans that like would destroy the universe, and it would be dope as hell.
I could see that. I could see that. And JP, same question for you. DC or Marvel? Who would you like to see be a companion?
This is hard, very, very hard, because I love Nightwing, but Nightwing's just like a little bit of like a human. That will probably never happen. But free wishing. But I would like to see somebody from like the X-Men universe. I would like to see like maybe Jubilee.
Oh, fun.
Oh, she'd be into it. You
Right?
know she's a Who fan. She's a cosplayer. She's a Comic Con girly.
That's what I'm saying. I would love Jubilee. I would like something like that. Like X-Men's my jam. And yeah, somebody from the X-Men universe would be really, really great. I'd not Storm or anybody, but like Jubilee, one of the like smaller characters. Yeah.
So I'm gonna take it the Deadpool way and not say Deadpool, but like either Peter from Deadpool or Dopinder, I think would make great companions for him
Fun.
because they're just gung ho and they would just have the greatest time of their lives, I think. Or Pepper Potts because she's organized and I think she would have fun too.
Man, I didn't think of
Okay.
like comic book sidekick. I didn't even think about like the non-supers like that the Doctor would select.
Right.
I don't want them to have I don't want him to be a companion, but I really want the Doctor to meet Venom.
Oh.
I
Okay.
think the Doctor would just be like, okay, would just be like, Venom would be like, we are Venom, we will eat everything, and the Doctor would be like, I can get you to a planet where you can have everything that you'd like to eat. And because Venom is my alien, because Venom is a non-binary, Venom is they, them, and Venom is in a relationship with Eddie Brock. Do not let Marvel tell you different. Do not let Sony tell you different. They're in a romantic relationship, and it's canon. Venom would just like, so I've read a lot of the comics, and Venom's backstory like is actually kind of sad. So, and he's also the last of his race. He's also the last of his race. So I think the Doctor and Venom would have like a really
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
I
like
could see that.
they would have like a lot of really solid conversations because like Venom also technically killed most of the other Venoms.
Yeah.
So the symbiote.
I will cut you off there a little bit because Venom is coming out later this year, so we are going to talk about him.
Ooh.
Everybody out there, just so you know, we will come back to this conversation. But before we're out of time, because we're getting close, I did want to mention that this episode was written by two women, Kate Herron and Briony Redmond. How do you think they did? Because typically, like, we don't have women writing for Who. We haven't had a lot of them. What did you think and how they did? And did they stay in the same universe? Did it keep us going? We'll start with you on this one, JP.
I think they brought us back into the universe. They brought us into exactly what we needed, exactly what was supposed to happen. Now I didn't know that, and now that like I can like rethink watching the episode, it makes completely and total sense because let's be real, the male writers are not going to give us this much of a lovely story between two gay men. Let's be real. We've trusted them before. They're like, oh, we're going to touch on it and then we're going to run over there. And then this episode said like, okay, no, we're actually going to like do this. Like, we're going to go hardcore. The episode was absolutely beautiful. So it makes complete sense. Not saying that men cannot write, but you know what? It takes a feminine touch to make an episode like this so romantic and so powerful. And it really does. It takes a feminine touch. And I think they did an amazing job. And I'm happy. Good job.
I agree with you. I think they did a brilliant job. Like I said, this is the most Doctor Who I felt since this season has started. I then found out they wrote it, and I was like, they know the universe and they know how to write. Strong, powerful women and the gay storyline. Like, come on. Bryan, what did you think about Kate Herron and Brianna Redmond coming in and writing this episode?
I've only felt like it's gotten hooier so far, and like this felt like a real Doctor Who adventure. Like I don't know, like it felt like it had everything that it needed, that I wanted from a Doctor Who episode, and a mysterious villain, but also like, I don't know, like, I'm not saying romance is a necessary thing in a Doctor Who adventure, but the fact that you got the Doctor with a romantic interest that's not his partner, which they never do, like, that's cool. Like, this should have probably happened a long time ago. Like, I mean, like, there's River Song, but like, I feel like River Song is it. Like, even like, I mean, David Tennant still ended up with like fucking Rose in an alternate universe while River Song was part of the story. Like, this is like a fully other developed character that's a romantic interest that's not the partner, and like that's cool and unique while it stayed real. We got a lot of intergalactic cosplayers fucking with the timeline. Very Doctor Who. Like, I don't know. Like, I liked it. Like, it's evolving Doctor Who in a really great way, while still keeping that, you know, that delicious, like, you know, sci-fi shenanigans that I want to see. Like,
what you enjoy. I think they did a brilliant job, and everything you like, hands down, agree with you wholeheartedly. Kyle, what did you think about them? And
when you said Kate Herron, I had to go look it up, and I had to confirm what I suspected and what I knew. Kate Herron wrote and executive produced 6 episodes of Loki on Disney Plus, and I was just like, wait. And then I was just like, this also, for people who shipped Loki and Mobius, I was like,
stop.
But this is Loki and Mobius. And then to add joy to my little heart, because I quickly went to the Google and I Googled it, to add joy to my little heart, she's also writing an episode of Last of Us Season 2 with queer characters. And I'm just like, oh, Kate, you said happy pride to all the gay people, and I don't know where you stand, madame, but goodness me. But yeah, so I saw that, and I was just like, Kate Herron. Kate Herron sounds so familiar. Why does it sound? Of course.
Mean Girls. I mean, no, I'm joking.
Because Loki, and just Loki is, I don't even care. Like, Loki is the very first character in the Marvel Universe to, and was it enough? No, absolutely not. But I would not be surprised if she was one of the people who wrote the line, you know, what about any princesses or princes? And Loki says, there's been a bit of both. And I'm like, you know, was it Marvel? Is it dyed in the world Marvel? I held on to that. But good God.
And
now that you said,
I know, going back to the superhero question, what if it was Loki? Team up with Loki?
Maybe.
Hey.
But
be the antagonist. Like, I don't know.
Unfortunately, guys, I do have to cut you off because we are out of time. We could keep talking about this episode for a while. But thank you guys for being here to talk about episode 6, Rogue, of the new Who on Disney Plus. Shout out to Bryan, Kyle, and JP. Bryan, let everybody know out there where they can find you.
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram under Wayward Scientist. I'm gonna have a new podcast popping off in a little while. It's called, working title is Trucks. It's a Monster of the Week podcast about 3 truckers going on adventures through the fictional magical land of America. From like the jungles of Ohio to the shrimp fields of Oklahoma. It's truly a grand adventure. We're working on it now, so that'll pop out into where you can find podcasts soon, hopefully.
Nice. That sounds interesting. Definitely keep us informed. I'd like to check that out. But thank you so much for being here. JP, where can they all locate you out there?
You can find me on my socials at JP Rapozo, Rapozo. And if you actually want to come and physically meet me, next Saturday, June 22nd, I am directing a show with Town Street Theater at the Stella Adler Theater on Hollywood and Highland Boulevard, on the corner of Hollywood. And we're celebrating Juneteenth and Queer Voices. So please come and see us. You can get your tickets at townstreettheater.com.
Perfect. Thank you for being here, and everybody definitely check that out. Kyle, where can they find you out there on the socials or in person? Not in person, but on the socials.
You can find me in person. No. CAROLING_cosplay on TikTok if you want to hear me rambling about mascot horror, cosplaying as various mascot horror characters, because I guess there's something about mascot horror that's super queer, and I've always felt very weirdly accepted by that community. I don't know, dressing up as big fuzzy creatures and running. I get
there's a whole community.
And then also you can find me on Instagram because I'm trying to get more you know what? I will plug my podcast. I am one of the people on Sandman_podcast, capital SANDMAN_podcast, and we are currently reviewing Dead Boy Detectives before we start doing the Sandman season 2. Again, capital SANDMAN_podcast. Come listen to us talk about in-depth comics and the Dead Boy Detectives and the original comic run and the TV show run, and it's great. We're a little behind, but it's great. Follow us there.
That sounds great. I just finished Dead Boy Detectives and I love it so much. But thank you for being here. I'm your host, Erric Ramirez, and you can find me on all socials at Heartless7. That's HARTL, the number 3 SS7. But thank you all for tuning in as well, and be sure to join our Discord to keep this conversation going, as well as subscribing to all of our platforms at Nom Talk Network. But you will not see us for 2 weeks because the last episode we talk about is a 2-parter. So we're going to take a week off so we can talk about all that juicy bits. But until next time, everybody out there, have a nomorific day.
Bye.